Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to build a complete chat application in React Native using the React Native gifted chat library and Firebase real-time database. Actually, this is the first part of this video, and in the first part I just will be doing the UI part, and if this video got more than 50 likes, it means that it's useful for you guys, so I will be encouraged to do the second episode of it, which is the functionality and connecting the app to the Firebase real-time databases. So let me show you what we are gonna build in this video. It's a login form, and for make it simple, I remove the password field. You just need to write your username here. So for example, my username is Masood. Then I'm gonna click on the login button, and yeah, it's my contact list. I can find my users here, and if I want to send a message to a new user, I can easily write his name here and add it to the list. And when I go to, for example, one of them, to the Alex page, I can see his avatar here, his message here, and I can send a message, hi. And then my message will be here, and I even can send emojis. That's a very good library to build React Native chat applications, and it's you can also expand it, and you can also extend it to you can also use this project, extend it to a bigger one, and build something like WhatsApp or Skype or something else for yourself. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like so I can understand is it useful for you, and then I will be making the next part of this video. So let's start the first part. Okay, if you want to do this project from scratch, you first need to install React Native CLI if you don't use React Native right now. So you need to install the CLI tool, and you can easily copy and paste it inside your terminal and install it. After you install the React Native CLI, you need to initiate a new React Native project using this command, npx React Native init first app, which I did, and it created the first app folder, which is its content here. And after it, you need to go to the first app folder. You can easily do it using cd first app, and then run this command to install React Native gifted chat library on your React Native. So after doing this, you will have a clean React Native setup, which is ready for you to build your project. If you open the app.js file, you will see a lot of content, but actually they are not necessary. You can just remove it and convert it to something like this, something very clear. And we are gonna build our project here. And also I added a folder src. I'm gonna put all my components inside the src folder, which is a neater way. We can have them here, but it's not clean. And I also have one folder assets inside the src to just have my images, icons, and some kind of things. It's just for an arrow. Okay, the first thing that I want to do is to create a new component here inside my src folder. Let's name it chat app.js. It's the main file of my project, and I'm gonna load this file inside my app.js. So let's create it. Export default function, and the name of function should be chat app. And let's import React, what it is. Import React from React. These kind of libraries are useful, but sometimes they are annoying, like today. And inside it, what we need a return. Actually, we can have something like state here to see what is the current state of application. It's better to use Redux here to have a state manager, but we can make it simple and just using a normal state. So let's do it. First, create a const and let's name it current page, the page that user should see, and set current page use state. And what should be the default value? The first page that user can see, which is the login. So let's make it login and then add a switch based on the current page. And if the current page is login, then just return the login component, which we are going to build it right after this. So let's create the login component, login.js, and inside it import React from React and export default function login. And we are gonna need 3 props here. I will share with you what we're gonna do with them. On login, it's just a function, and username and set username. Actually, we want to store the username inside the parent component, which is chat app.js, and then we just easily pass the current username and the function to change the username. So let's create it here, const username and set username. And what should be the default value? It can be null. Use state, and yeah, it can be null. Let's do the ESLint, make it better, and just we need to pass username to the child component. Let's import the login using VS Code. Yeah, it added the login section for me automatically, and set username, which is this one. And also I need a function for onLogin, const onLogin. It's gonna be a function, and just pass it for now to my login component. What is wrong with it? Let me just, yeah, we don't need break because we actually returned it. Let's go for our login and make it complete. We need to return. Let's put everything inside a view, which is equivalent to div if we were using React. And we need a style for it. So let's create our styles. Const styles equals to, let's close it to make it doesn't tell us errors. Style sheet. Yeah, it was a style sheet. It should be imported from React Native. Let me try it again. Style sheet, but it doesn't work, so we need to do this ourselves. Import style sheet from, not form data, from. Do you know what is the from? React Native. Yeah, and style sheet dot create, it's just a function, and we need to call actually define our CSS styles inside it. So let's create a container style and use it here. Styles.container. We are gonna write our styles here later. So let's complete it. Please import it for me. Yeah, that's it. We need a text input, a simple text input. Yeah, and style, what should it be? Styles dot input. We can define it later, and we need a function to detect when user type in. So unchanged text prop is made for that purpose. Set user name. So it automatically changed the state for us. And value. If you guys don't understand what I'm doing here, you can easily go to the another video of mine which is related to use state. And for value, I'm gonna set username. Sorry for these kind of issues. And a button to submit the login form. Button title should be login. And on press function, and then on login function that we passed it to our login component. Let's do as ESLint to make it beautiful. Yeah, let's go for our styles. I actually need to change the background color to something like CA. Yeah, it should be working. I want to see what I have here. Let me just import the chat app instead of empty view. Chat app. Yes. So it should work. Yeah, it works. But as I said, we need to define our style. So for our container, I'm going to set the flex one to contain all the space that we have. Set justify content to center to make everything center. We also need to set align items, not align content, align items center. Don't make me angry. Okay, where is my input? Oh, we forgot to define its styles. Yeah, it should be input. And first of all, let's make it clear. Set the background color to white because it's transparent. Oh, little input is visible now. Set the width to maybe 80% should be enough for now. Yeah, such an ugly input. Margin button, make a little bit margin. It should be number. And let's add a border radius. It's so ugly now. Border radius should be 20. And do we need yeah, we need a little bit padding for here. So add a padding of 20, but let's do it for just horizontal, for the just x-axis. Yeah, it works fine. Let's go for the other page. Okay, now it's time to create our users list inside our app. Let me create a new component, name it users.js, and export default function users and import the React library, import React from React. I have a good news for you guys. In the latest version of React, React 17, you don't need to import React anymore, but it hasn't applied to React Native yet. I hope it does soon. Let's add this semicolon, and we need some props here. The first one is users. Actually, we are going to get users from the, let's close the login, from this component. So let me just define some default users here. Const default users. It's gonna be an array, and we can structure it on whatever we want, but I'm gonna use this structure. Maybe we later change it when we want to connect it to Firebase, or maybe not. ID, name, for example, Masood. Let's use another name because Masood is my name. And avatar should be, let me copy it. Yeah. It's a simple avatar. As you saw, it's a cat. Lovely kitten. ID is 2, name should be Sarah. By the way, it's a Persian name. And avatar should be the same. I'm lazy, I don't want to change it. And the third user should be Michael. And avatar should be the same. Fix it for me, and then I'm gonna create a state here. Const, let's name it users, and a function for setting users, and use state. So I'm gonna pass default users to this one, but when we connect it to Firebase in the next episode, hopefully, then we don't need the default users anymore at that time. Okay, and now let's check if the case was what? Users. Then render the users. Let me just save it. And now import it. Users. Is it imported? Yes. And as I said, we need to send the users to our component. And yeah. And we read it from here. What else do we need? We actually need a function. When user clicks on each user, we should do something. We should actually navigate user to the chat screen. So let's name it on click user and create a function inside it. Like what we did for onlogin, we're gonna complete them later. Const set, what was it? On click user, and just simple empty, and pass it to this one. So easy. I'm killing myself why this ESLint doesn't work fine. Okay, we got it. What else do we need here? User to add and set user to add. Actually, we are going to add an input at the top of users list, so user can type the user that he wants to send a message to and click on the add button. So these two options here is for that purpose. And let's create it. Const user to add, set user to add. And it should be null for the first time. Actually, I should say something here. I'm making this project as simple as possible in the code. Maybe if you're professional, you laugh at this style of coding, but it's definitely good for beginners because it's not wrong, but it can be better. It can be better, yeah, actually. We can structure it in a better way, but here, since I don't want it to be complicated for your users and spend too much time on this, so I decided to put all the states here and just pass them to our components. Don't use any state inside my child components. So let's continue it. We have it, user to add, pass it and set user to add and set user to add. What did I do? I actually have problem with my keyboard. Yeah, this time it looks better. So we send it. What else do we need here? Just another function on add user, and actually when user click on the add button, we need a function again. So let's name it on add user. And that's it. Okay, it's time to jump into our users component and make it as complete as possible. So let's first use a Flatlist. Actually, on top of the Flatlist, I need the input buttons. So return. We can use this instead of using a useless view. We just can do it to put more than one thing here. So view and style, it's gonna be styles dot. Let's copy this. Where was it? Inside the login. Copy this. Come here. And so now we forgot to import. Add it here. Be lazy. And styles dot. What should we name it? Oh, add user. We can name it add user group or something like this. And within it, I just need a text input again. And style should be for this one, styles.input. And on change text should be set user to add. And value also should be user to add. Let's make it better. Let me close this section. We don't have enough space. And my button should be here. Button title should be add user, and on press should be a function on add user. The function that we passed, as you can see here. Yeah. Let's close our button. Otherwise, it's gonna yell at us. And add user. Let's change it. Remove these useless sections. For the add user, actually, I need a flex direction to be row and a little bit padding to 10. What do you say? We actually opened it, closed it, and it's my view, it's my text input. So what is wrong with you? Users is this function return. So there is no problem. I don't know why it's yelling at me. I don't like you. Okay guys, let's continue and make it complete. I'm gonna just change it to users in order to see the user section. Yeah, it is added and I see my text box. And let's define our input styles. Background color should be CA. Yeah, that's nice. And let's remove it, set the flex to 1 and set back. Oh, we did the background color. What else we need? Margin from the right side a little bit, 10 pixels, and for padding should be 10. That border radius was nice, but since my button doesn't accept any styles, because we use the built-in button of React Native, which is really ugly and not flexible to customize, so we cannot use border radius. So let's keep it at ease now. Okay, let's go for our flat list. It should be added here. Flat list. Yeah. When we want to render something in a list, we can use flat list component of React Native, which is so performant component for making lists in React Native. So the first thing that we need to specify is data prop, which is an array of the users. As we provided, it should be users variable. And we also need a render item prop. It's a function, render user. We're gonna create it here. Const render user. And it's gonna accept an item here, which is the current item of the list, and we will render everything inside it later. And one more thing is key extractor, which is you need to specify a unique key for your list. So it should be a function which takes item as an argument, and inside it you can, for example, we had something unique inside it which was id. Yes, so item.id, but we need to change it to string. So just easily set to string. Yeah, it will convert it to a string. And the error is because I guess, yeah, we didn't close the tag again. And let's go for render user function. For every user, we need to return a pressable. It's element instead of using a button here. It's something like touchable opacity if you're familiar with, or if you don't know anything about opacity touchable, it's a kind of how can I say, it makes everything that we put inside it clickable. Yeah, that's it. So pressable accept a prop on press, and we are going to have an arrow function here. When it press, we just need to call the onClick user function with this argument item. And we need to specify a style, styles.row. Let me add it here, row, and yeah, now it's time for its content. As you saw in the beginning of the video, we had the user avatar here, and beside it we had the username. So image, use this one to import it, and style for this one should be styles.avatar, and source should be in React Native. If you want to use images from web, you need to use this structure URI colon and then your URL, which is item avatar. If you remember, we had avatar here. So let's close our image tag and go for the text. And inside it, just item dot name. Yeah, we need to import it from React Native again. Yeah, we haven't imported it yet. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, you can see them, but let me just define the styles for them. So what we had here, avatar. Yeah, let's add it here. For the avatar, we need to specify width and height. So 50 to 50 is okay, and a little bit margin from the right side should be enough. Yeah, and now it's time to make it putting items in a row. So we easily can do it using flex direction to row. Yeah, and add a padding 10 pixels as always. Align items should be center. Yeah. Border bottom color should be again CA, and border bottom width should be just 1 pixel. Yeah, awesome. What is this car? Okay, it looks pretty nice. Now when we click on them, nothing happens because we actually haven't write the functionality on back of these things. Let's go to this section. We actually need to create another component for the chat. So let's do it. Name it chat.js, and now it's time to install the library that I told you in the beginning of the video, React Native Gifted Chat. If you want to learn more about this library, you can go to this link. I will add it inside the description of this video. It's a good library to build chat UI in your project, and it's fully customizable, but it's a little bit tricky to customize it. I will share with you, no need to be worried about it. So let's create our chats component. As always, export default chat and import React from React, and inside it I actually need to Oh, we forgot to install it. You need to actually run this command inside your terminal, but actually I did it before, and as you can see, it is inside my, where is it? Yeah, inside my dependencies list, so I don't need to run it again. Just need to import gifted chat from React Native gifted chat. Let's go to its website and just copy some part of code from here. Return. Yeah, that should be enough for here. What is wrong with it? Oh, we forgot the function keyword here. Chat. It should be chat, not chat app. Use state should be imported. Also use effect. And use callback. So let's change it to the chat and add this case for chat and return chat component. Yeah, you can see it is added and works fine for us. We actually need to add our action bar on top of it and add the back button here. So instead of just returning gifted chat, let's use this trick again to put more than one component and don't use a useless view here. And on top of it, I need to create a new pressable, and on press should be on back, and style should be styles dot action bar. Let's create the styles, copy it from here. Action bar, and don't forget to import style sheet from React Native. Okay, we had our pressable, and within it we actually need to read it from props, so let's add it here. And now don't do this. Pressable. Let's add our components inside it. Image, source. Now, since I want to load this PNG file, I don't use the URI method as I did before. To import just local files, you need to use require function and specify the path for your asset, which is assets folder and back.png, and a text selected user dot name. Actually, because selected user can be null in some cases, I'm gonna add a question mark here, so it will check if the selected user existed, then it will ask for the name property, otherwise it just return. So let's get it from the props. I think this component should be completed. Where was it? It was here. It is added, but we need to write our styles for this one. It should be first of all background color. What color? You guessed right. CA, CA, CA. And height should be 31 pixel. Width should be 100%. Why it doesn't work? Oh, what happened? Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, flex direction should be row, and align items should be center. Since the selected user is null, we don't see it here. But let's jump into the chat app.js file and add a const selected user and set selected user use state should be null, this one as well. We actually need to write down our functions here. Let's add another one for onBack and then complete all of them to finish our video. Let's start with onBack. When user press on this button, we should change the current page to which one you guess, to the users. Yes. And when user do login, we should redirect him inside the app, so it should be users again. The default state should be login. And when we click on the users in the users list, we should redirect. We should first get the user from here and set the current page to the chat page, and also set the selected user using this function, and it should be user. When we want to add a new user, we don't want to write it down for now. We also need to pass selected user and onBack to the chat component. Selected user should be selected user. Oh, why do I add comma here? onBack should be onBack. So now if I enter something, method, if I click on the login button, this function will be called. Yeah, it got me inside the users page. So if I click on these elements, it should be called the onClick user function. Yeah, I'm here now, and if I click on the back button, it will redirect me to the list, and I can write something here, but since it is not connected to the server, it doesn't work. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave it a like. If this video can get more than 50 likes, I will be doing the second part of it. So if you want to tell me it is useful to do the second part, please leave it a thumbs up. Thank you guys. Bye to the next video.